Welkom bij alweer een nieuwe aflevering in het Europese parlement met Barbara en Gerolf. Europese Gesprekken met Barbara en Gerolf. Vandaag met onze hoofdgast Paolo Borchia.
Hallo.
Paolo Borchia is het nieuwe hoofd van zijn delegatie in het Europees parlement. Hij begon in 2010 als assistent van Fontana en hij zit in zijn tweede legislatuur als parlementair. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
And thanks so much to be here and to answer a little
Thanks
bit
a
of our
lot
questions.
for inviting me.
Nice. So yeah, it's the best thing that we can talk about our first thing, and that's the clean industrial deal. I'm looking to you. I'm looking to you guys both, and maybe to you, Gerolf, too. So the clean industrial deal, is there a way to explain to our viewers what is it? How does it work? Tell me something about it. Maybe you both, or...
Well, basically, I think that every one of us agrees with the idea of being able to work, to move, and to eat in a more sustainable way. But on the other hand, we should take it into account. We should be realistic and admitting that the general approach of the Green Deal, of the Green Industrial Deal, is too ambitious for our enterprises.
What do you mean about that? Too ambitious?
I mean that first of all, we should take into account that there are some technologies. Some technologies are mature, are ready. Other technologies will be ready into the future because now they are expensive, and so we should be able to implement a legal framework coherent with the technological development. Otherwise, if we start to build up a house starting from the roof, it will collapse. And so I'm very concerned about the possibility of our enterprises to be competitive with international competition. And my question is, are we sure that with the 7% at the global level of greenhouse gas emission, we need to have the more restrictive legislative framework?
I think in the European Union they want everything going too fast.
What do you mean about too fast?
Yeah, they put some targets, but the targets are unrealistic when you see the economic reality, and it also involves a lot of administrative burden for our companies.
So there are some consequences.
Yes, of course. You see the energy prices rising. You see for example, they will urge us to buy electric cars, but not everyone is ready. And especially not every country in the European Union is the same. When you go to, for example, to Romania, you won't see a lot of electric cars.
Not everybody is ready. What do you mean about that? I think the financial situation too for, let's say, a particular family, or what do you mean about that?
I think you have to look at the people, what they can afford, and not everyone will be able to afford an electric car or expensive stuff like that. And the problem is the European Union wants to impose this without thinking about those consequences, those financial consequences. Also, the renewable energy, for example, is making our energy costs globally very expensive, which is a very big issue for the companies, but also for the families.
Also for the families, yeah.
And we should never forget, allow me to remark that, but never forget that we are living under a left-wing majority here in the European Parliament since 2014 and subsequently 2019. Under Timmermans, the Dutch guy who was manipulating the Commission, but now even since von der Leyen, the majority is dominated by a left-wing tendency. And so we have to build up a right-wing counterweight. And the Patriots Group has done that. We have been succeeding in making bridges with the EPP in a few key votes on that issue. So we can change things, but we have to be aware that it's a political thing. So we have been going way too far in green madness because of the political reasons that they had to have a commission here working with a majority that was predominantly green and left wing.
And left wing.
But let's say that it's very realistic. I have the impression that European electors in general are much more oriented to the center-right political orientation. And for us, and we work in this parliament every day, for us it's very hard to understand why there is, in the reality, there is a majority, and in this parliament there is a different kind of majority that doesn't reflect the reality.
Okay.
And I think they are also faking the support for those measures by, for example, European Commission has funded a lot of NGOs with taxpayers' money to go to lobby to the European Parliament, for example, for the Green Deal measures. And the majority
Timmermans has been cheating by subsidizing, and also von der Leyen, by the way, subsidizing the green NGOs that manipulate the public opinion. And that's why the pressure is there on the EPP, which is normally the representation of the center, to go to the left instead of to the right. So there is a right majority, but it all depends on what the EPP will do in the future, in the next few weeks, next few months, and in the next few years.
Yes, but if I can add one more aspect, let's say that I think that for everyone, Timmermans was very useful. But when Mr. Timmermans left this commission, I think that more or less the music was always the same. I had the impression, frankly speaking, to see the Titanic orchestra playing while the Titanic was sinking. But in general, let's explain to our friends that are following us that all the regulations and directives making part of the Green Deal weren't voted by itself. Someone voted for them, and there was a clear majority voting for them. Let's say that.
Yeah. If it's correct, am I correct that there is a friendship between both parties? A good friendship, or how does it?
Quite historical.
Historical,
yeah.
Because in the Patriots political group as Lega, we have I think the most historical alliance, but friendship first, then alliance with France Belang, with FPÖ, and so after many years. It has a deep meaning that, politicians change, people change, but the friendship among two parties stays.
Stays.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can remember una sala dello sport in Milano. I was a young guy in the 80s or the 90s. The exact year escapes me now, but it was still 10,000 Italians, shouting like tifosi when I was starting speaking Italian to them instead of foreigners that were translated by the Italian services. I started the dialogue in Italian immediately with them. And,
let's say that we are...
Bossi was still speaking 2-3 hours. He was still the chief of the Lega Nord in those days.
He has an unbelievable charisma and communication.
But on the other hand, I was also in Turin when Bossi and even Maroni was replaced by the young and unknown Salvini, who had just a piece of paper and spoke an hour and a half with a piece of paper with 3 words on it. He was a big talent also. We saw that immediately. But the friendship was there, and we were always present on big moments of Lega.
Yeah, but let's say that as a party we are quite good in motivating our people.
Okay, nice to hear. Barbara, the process of Salvini. Can you start with something to explain to our viewers what is happening around that? What is the thing about the process?
Yeah, I think he was fighting against the illegal immigration, and then there was a process against him because he was
for doing his job.
For doing his job to the people. Yes, for doing what he promised.
Yeah. Okay.
He was doing his job, but he had a clear political mandate.
Okay.
There was a poll around July 2019, and the Lega was around 38% at national level.
Okay.
So it means that Italian people were fed up about illegal migration, about migration without controls, and let's make it clear that Italy, from this point of view, Veneto, my region as well, my region is a region traditionally voted for migration.
Okay.
So our grandfathers left our region, they went to Southern America, and they created development. And so as national context, I think we are very open to people that are motivated in working, in following rules, in sharing our values. But after many years, we saw that the left wing had a different approach towards migration, an ideological approach without being realistic, and so there was
What do you
a
mean
clear.
without being realistic?
I think that every country, every city, every region has some possibility of welcoming people, to grant a job, a house, a school for children. But we can't imagine that everything is for free, without limits, without control, without rules.
For ideological reasons.
Only
Migration,
for
because of migration and promoting it.
promoting migration because of having future electors.
Yes,
maybe.
well, most
Let's say
probably,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, Matteo Salvini had a clear political mandate by electors, by Italian. It was a political trial, and there was a judge that published a book, and he stated in one sentence, it was a frightening sentence. He stated that Mr. Salvini was right, but we needed to stop him. And we are talking about a judge. Some people called for managing justice and for granting us justice and a fair trial.
Yeah, okay. Paolo, let's talk about the green dictatorship. Your group often, let's say, opposes the green dictatorship in the EU. So the thing is, the question is, what is your alternative to the climate policy? What is your
We
way of
can seeking for the same final goals, but with a different approach, with a different timetable. In general, we should change the philosophy.
nuclear energy, for example, seeing like a solution or the solution? Or
Yes, for sure. In Italy, we have the second nuclear industry all over Europe. We had a referendum in 1997, but it was a referendum the year after the Chernobyl disaster in the Soviet Union. And so people were conditioned by that accident. They were afraid. And so, in my opinion, they voted without having a deep assessment. But then, let's say that it's very complicated to ask people to express themselves on very technical issues. And now, with this current government, with the center right-wing government, Lega is part of it. We are promoting the return to the nuclear energy. And personally, I think that I don't have absolutely anything against renewable energy, but I think that if we wish to have fair bills and affordable energy costs, we need to have a different kind of sources that are put on the same level, and they are put in competition. And in this way, in theory, we should enjoy about better prices, because now in Italy we have, as the second manufacturer country in Europe, we have programs with the a high cost of energy because we are dependent on other countries.
Yeah.
You also have a lot of companies moving from Italy, like we do. For example, we have a lot of we had automobile companies who left Belgium already for a few years, and I think in Italy it's also you also have a lot of them.
You know, the cost of energy is high. The cost of manpower is high. As I told before, the legislative framework is not very business friendly. And so I try to convince entrepreneurs that we have a future.
Yeah.
But to be very sincere and to be very realistic, now in this moment, not only Italy but European Union is not the dream context for running a business. And so, as a Patriots, as Lega, as France Belang, we are working every day because we would like to create a different atmosphere and for helping people, helping entrepreneurs to stay in Europe and to create job places and opportunity in Europe.
I think a big problem is the administrative burden for companies.
For sure.
And Europe is imposing a lot of administrative burden, a lot of compliance where companies have to fulfill. But then we have other levels too, like Flanders, like the federal level in Belgium. So when all counted together, it's really a lot for them. And I heard from some people who own a company that it's almost impossible.
So political pressure is needed to change all that.
Of course, and that's what we are doing here with the Patriots and with our parties too in the different parliaments. And I think your party is doing the same. And,
yes, we are. I think this is the best direction, the more realistic.
That's why Italy is an example for us now on the European level, because it shows that cooperation between center-right, is possible and needed to change.
Yes, it's funny or it's interesting to see why, for example, Forza Italia party in the European Parliament has chosen a different approach and a different majority with the leftist group, and in Italy we are part of the center-right coalition. 3 parties affiliated to 3 different political groups in Brussels, but it works. We are different. You know that a coalition is not like to have a single party in government, but for the moment we must be honest and stating that for the moment Italy has one of the most stable governments in Europe. So I think
we see in too many countries we see where the center is like in Belgium, center is cooperating with the left, with the socialists, and governing with socialists, whereas Italy is now homogeneously right-wing governed, and
it means
a good thing. An example.
Stability, and it means that things are running quite different right now. I think that there are the possibility for having this coalition, having this scheme in the future as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Maybe a strange question, Paolo, but
I love strange questions.
okay. What do you think what is the biggest misunderstanding concerning or about your party? Is there a misunderstanding, maybe?
Well, it's for me it's really strange that press and the Euro bubble considers my party
The Euro bubble and the press.
Yes. A far-right party, and it doesn't make sense. For example, me personally, I have some left-wing electors. They voted for me at the European elections because they trust me. But I think that if we take our time for reading written questions, statements in the chamber, I think that no one of us is stating far-right stuff. But I think that it's easier by the Commission, it's easier by the Brussels establishment, trying to say that we are a far-right group only because we have an alternative vision to the European Commission job and to the European Union affairs. they are trying to scare people. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay. At the end of each program, we have some dilemmas. So we have two dilemmas. What do you prefer, a good Belgian coffee or a traditional Italian coffee? Traditional or good one?
This is the most difficult question.
Good Belgian coffee,
and
does it
that's,
exist?
Well, I
I
would
have
like
another
to-
question too.
I would like to.
even more difficult.
I would like to invite you right now in my office for having
That's a good
a
idea.
good traditional Italian espresso.
Ferrari or Maserati?
Oh wow!
That's the most difficult one, I think.
I'm a working class guy, so I'm less
To look at,
ambitious.
just to look at.
Just to look at Ferrari.
Ferrari, I thought so. Okay. Thanks for having you. Thanks that you were
Thank
coming
you.
to our
Thank you very
program.
much
Thank
for
you.
your warm hospitality.
Thank you, Paolo.
Oké, dat was het voor vandaag. Dat was het voor vandaag met Europese Gesprekken met Barbara en Gerolf. Alvast tot de volgende keer in het Europese Parlement. Tot de volgende.